Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. We're continuing to put the scoreboard through its paces today as we're debuting another new game on the channel. This time we're playing Stone Cold Hockey by ASG Games, printed by Stone Mountain Press. So in this one, again, it's a hockey simulator, but this one's more of a highlights game. Let me turn on my light that I clip on behind the camera. And to help me debut Stone Cold Hockey on the channel tonight, we're going to the 2005-06 season and one of the historic rivalries in NHL history. We're at TD Garden tonight as the Montreal Canadiens are in town to host the Boston Bruins. The Canadiens finished the 2005-06 season with a record of 42 wins, 31 losses, and 9 overtime losses. The Bruins finished up with a record of 29 wins, 37 losses, and 16 overtime losses. Now, I've only played this game a handful of times, so it'll probably be a little bit rough on this one. And I've got everything set up already. So for Montreal, we've got Cristobal Huet starting. For the Bruins, Andrew Raycroft is in net to start for the Bruins. So, like I said, I'll probably make some mistakes during the course of this one. Just be gentle in the comments or in chat, please. But I don't need the off-season charts for this one, so I can put those out of my way. Okay. I think we're all set for this one, so let's jump right into the action. Let's bring my charts over here a little bit closer. Okay. So we only need the D6 and the D20 to determine what our action is going to be, whether we've got a puck battle or we've got an attack sequence. So let's see what our first roll of the game is. We'll start off with a D6 for time, 1 minute off the clock, and just like that, we've got a puck battle already. So we roll a D100 on the puck battle chart, which is not a fight. Puck battle. Here we are. So we need the D100 in the first period. We've got a puck battle coming up. That is a 64. 64 in the first period. Battle back. Trailing team hustles to win possession. Roll column A attack. If tied, the higher aggression team deals 1 hit. If aggression is equal, both teams deal 1 hit. Trailing team hustles to win possession, but nobody's trailing right now, so looks like on aggression, Montreal will deal a hit. So Boston's stamina goes down to 9. I think I want the tower right there. Let's see what we get next for our next roll. 2 minutes off the clock, and we've got another puck battle. Looks like they like puck battles tonight. This time it's an 82 on the puck battle. Make a stand. Both teams deal 1 hit. If stamina of either team is 7 or less, a fight occurs. Well, fitting that a historical rivalry like this is already a hard-hitting game. So next up, we have another minute coming off the clock. All right, and good hockey sim. Well, Doug Sessome's first to join us here at TD Garden. Good hockey sim, good to know about that. Own most of the seasons for this one. Sit back and enjoy my playthrough. Well, this is only like my second or third time playing this, Doug, so if there's anything I do wrong, feel free to chime in. Just be gentle in the chat. 1 minute off the clock. 11 gives us an attack sequence. So roll both D20s. The control die and the defense die. Say what now? Hold on. Red die determines which... Okay, so we probably use both D20s. The control die and the defense die. Red die determines which team is on the attack. Okay. So we do have a red die that we'll use for the attack, and the purple to determine if the defense makes the play. Whoever's on defense. Let's see, that's an 18. So Boston's in control of the action. And the 17 is if it's equal to or less than the defensive rating. 17 is obviously not, so we go to column A and roll the D100. Okay. Oh, that's some post I'll follow up with later. So column A, that is a 43. Attack 10 plus scores, but Boston's only got an attack of 5, so nothing happening there. Column A doesn't fit. Shift to column B. So that's still a 43. Attack 8 or 9, no. Crease chance 6 or 7. Boston's attack is only a 5. So that means nothing happens. Boston with the first attack, nothing happening there. That'll bring us next to our next sequence. 4 minutes off the clock, and we've got another puck, not a puck battle, an attack sequence. Montreal's in control of this one, and Boston can't make the play. So Montreal on column A, that is a 40. Montreal's in attack 6, so attack 10 doesn't score. Attack 8 or 9 is a crease chance, no. 6 or 7, slot chance. So we do have a slot chance, which I need to go to, not empty net, power play, fight. Oh, slot chance. Help if I could read the charts. So from the slot, that's an 11 and scores. Montreal puts that one in, gets on the board first. And I'll go find my remote for the scoreboard, and Montreal will take a 1-0 lead. Arena groans. Ugh. And of course there's no... Well, let's see who scores. There's no room for that. You know what? I can actually get something, so I will be right back. I'm going to go grab a writing pad for this. I do like the narrative aspects of the sports games with some of these hockey games, or with all these sports games. So, Stone Cold Hockey. Summary. So Montreal, first period, at the, looks like this is at the 12-minute mark. Just had my D100. Thought it was in my hand. Oh, I put it down over here. So now we'll see who scores for this one. Let's see, that is a 0-0, so Ryder will get the goal. And I'm going to bring my writing pad over here as well. And to determine the assists, we'll roll the D20 for that. That's a 19, 2 assists. So that will be Ryder. That'll be Michael Ryder. And the 33 on the assist will be from Saku Koivu. And 50 will be Sheldon Saray. And the Canadiens have a 1-0 lead. I'm hoping I won't have as many problems with this one as I did with Strat Baseball, especially with Strat Baseball and continually calling the Senators the Nationals, because I was playing a 1965 season with Washington. Hindsight, that was probably a bad idea, but let's see what we get here in this game. That is 6 minutes off the clock. Somebody's determined to see the period end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 11 says we're going to have an attack sequence. Let's see, Montreal will be in control of that one, but Boston will make the play on that one, equal to or less. So we go to the defensive column, and we'll roll D100. A 10 says a composed defender spoils a clever pass. So, Montreal D. Pass spoiled. And this will probably take us to the end of the first period, but let's see what our roll is here. Another 6 minutes off the clock, and bang! Me with my lousy goal horn once again. But the Canadiens have a 1-0 lead after 1. Let's see, right. So we've got 0-1. I'm used to, on the score sheet, it being the other way. But we'll get set for the second period of this game. And Doug, as you can see, I don't know if you were watching the Strat Baseball videos from earlier this morning, I do have a new scoreboard that I'm continuing to put through its paces. You can let me know what you think of the scoreboard in chat as well. Whether you like the new digital scoreboard or you think I should stick with the old one. I do have the remote for that off camera, so we'll be using that to keep score tonight. But let's jump in for the start of the second period. We will start off with another 6-minute time sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we've got ourselves an attack sequence. Boston's in control. Montreal can't make the play. So let's see what what the Bruins get up to here on column A. That is an 11. And on column A, 11 attack 3+ scores. And the Bruins will tie the game. And we are all knotted up like that, just like that, at 1. Digital 1 is sweet. Okay, good to know. As TD Gardens now cheers. Yay! That is at the 7-minute mark of the second period. Let's see who scored for the Bruins. 29 is Glenn Murray picking up that goal. Actually, first we need to determine how many assists. 17, 2 assists. Now we go to the D100. Let's see, 6 is Patrice Bergeron. And 10, once again, Bergeron, so we'll try again. An 85, that'll be somebody new. That'll be Dave Scatchard. And we are tied at 1 just like that as we get set to drop the puck again for another round of action. Let's see what we get here. That's another minute off the clock, and we've got ourselves a puck battle. Let's see, puck battle sends us to the puck battle chart in the second period. Oop, wrong dice. There we go. A 70 in the second period says go to the agitator table. Okay, the agitator table, which is hiding... Oh, here we go, agitator table. Okay, so we roll a d6. That is a 4. Does the home team have an agitator? No, they don't. So visiting team gets a slot chance. Montreal with a slot chance. Oop, need the D100. 28. That is going to be a goalie 10 plus makes the save. Raycroft is a 5, so the Canadiens will put that one in. And they will score. As the Canadiens now take a 2-1 lead. Arena groans. Ugh. Let's see who picked that one up for the Canadiens. That is a 49. That will be Mike Ribeiro picking that one up. We'll see how many assists. 5 for 1 assist. Need the D100. That is a 93. I'm pretty sure the goal scorer, nope, Francis Bullion. And it is now 2-1 Montreal. I'm also evaluating this game for potential use as a base game for season replays. So far, I like what I see of this one. It reminds me of Momentum Football in being a highlight-based game. So it's definitely got that in common for a quicker season replay. I could also do 2 games of this a night as part of a season replay. But let's see what we get on our next sequence. 4 minutes of time off the clock, and we've got another puck battle. A 78 in the second period. Make a stand. Both teams deal 1 hit. If stamina of either team is 7 or less, a fight occurs. So Boston's stamina will drop down to a 7 from the hit. So we've got a fight on our hands. And the fight right here. So now I've got to check how the fight works. I believe it's based on, well, if it's based on how I think it's going to be, if there are shields, we determine how many total shields there are. Let me look that up to see how that works, though. Puck battle sequences, 13. Let's see, on the flip side, you'll find the fight chart. Roll a D100 in the FM column for both teams. The FM. Maybe the fight modifier? FM. Roll D100 in the fight modifier chart. That's probably based on 3 types of matchups. Roll in the... Okay, hold on. Something's not adding up here. Two regular players have dropped the mitts. 3 types of... Well, D100 in the FM column. I'm still trying to figure out which FM column they're looking at. Fighting Major. I don't see that table on here unless I am getting old, so maybe my eyesight isn't what it... Oh, probably... It wouldn't be the Enforcer table, I don't think. Players most likely to fight. Team charts. Here we go. So it looks like we got to figure out who all is going to be in the fight for this one. Okay, so now we're looking at the FM column. I see it now. I was looking in the wrong place for it. Again, what can I say, Doug? I'm getting old. As in, I don't mind volunteering this, but I'm going to be 40 in a little over 3 months. So we've got our first fight. We need to see who's going to drop the gloves. We've got for Montreal. We're looking at a 40. That is Matthew Dandino. Let's see if I can spell this out right. No Enforcer versus for Boston. A 7. That'll be Travis Green. No Enforcer. So presumably... So it looks like we're just going to have ourselves a quasi fight where they're probably just going to dance around a little bit on the fight chart. That is a 96. So both players competently clutch with one hand and exchange savage shots. Wow. Tension de-escalates, +1 to the puck battle threshold. So that'll bring us up to a 14 plus, and each team regains a stamina. So very much welcome for both teams. Let's see what our next sequence in the action is. 3 minutes off the clock. And 8 is going to be an attack sequence. Boston is actually Montreal's in control of it, and Boston's defense can't do anything with it. So that'll bring me back to the column A chart. A 20 on column A, attack 4+. Montreal is a 4+, and they will score on a breakaway. And now the Canadiens open up a 3-1 lead. Well, for not wanting to fight, they sure laid in some pretty stiff shots. Anywho, that is at 18 of the second period. So let's see who scored for the Canadiens. That is a 64. That will be Steve Begin. It's probably something like Beijing. Seeing if there are any assists on the play. A 14 says there will be 2 assists. Yep, I got the right dice, never mind. 60 will be from Andrei Markov. And 60 is probably going to be a repeat. Yep, that's Markov again. 30, however, will be Saku Koivu. So Koivu picking up his second assist of the night. More importantly, giving the Canadiens a 3-1 lead. So let's see what we get up to here. We could theoretically have another sequence in this period, but the roll would have to be a 1 on the D6. Which that is not, and bang! That is the horn. That once again is my lousy goal horn to signal the end of the second period. The Canadiens holding on to a 3-1 lead as we get set for the third period. I definitely am liking this new scoreboard the more I put it through its paces. I don't have to keep reaching across I don't have to reach across the screen to change the score or the periods or anything like that. The only thing I would have to do is in baseball, well, I would have to adjust the stamina track here or move the batting token in baseball. But I definitely don't have that problem. Definitely don't have the problem with adjusting everything here. And I'm actually liking Stone Cold Hockey as a game as well. I definitely like the highlight feature of it. And it's going to be it would be a pretty easy one to use as the basis for a replay. I'll probably have to get some more of the PDF seasons for this one. I'm not going to use the computer game unless I'm back at my desk, which maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning toward being in here, though. Anyway, I'm rambling a bit, and I need the right dice. So let's get into the third period of tonight's game, as the Canadiens are trying to finish this one off 3-1. 1 minute coming off the clock. Natural 20 says that will be a puck battle. So that'll bring us back to the puck battle chart in the third period. That is a 44 in the third period. Makeup call. Minor penalty called on the team with the fewer penalty minutes. If even, penalty against the visitors. So Montreal is going to have a minor penalty. We'll see who gets called for the penalty. It will be 96. That'll be Aaron Downey getting called. And I know there's a penalty chart on here. Here we are. So on a minor, Downey's going off. 26. Downey's going off for hooking. So now we have ourselves a power play sequence, power play chart. So now we need to check the power play. Let's see, Montreal is a 6 on the penalty kill. Boston's a 7 on the power play. So that'll be a +1 Boston. Boston +1 on the power play. So let's see what we get here. So we'll be consulting the power play unit advantage, power play +1 unit advantage chart. So let's see what we get here. And we get 2 rolls on this chart regardless. 83 is going to be a kill zone. Penalty kill unit auto kills this time slot and the next power play time slot if applicable. So PK kill and PK kill. So Boston not able to do anything with the power play. And now we're back to full strength. Taking another, that's a cocked die. Taking another 6 minutes off the clock. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 12 says there's going to be an attack sequence. Let's see who's got the attack sequence, though. And 18, that is Boston. And Montreal's defense does make the play. So now we need the D100. So that will send them over to column D with a 60. And a 60 will be a disciplined unit, never allows a good chance. The Canadiens are definitely holding this one down. Taking another 3 minutes off the clock for another puck battle. That is a 55 in the third period. Will to win. Both teams deal 1 hit in a battle for possession. So both teams go back down to their previous stamina levels. 1 hit each, that was a 55. Higher stamina team gets a crease chance. So Montreal, with a stamina of 8, will have a crease chance. Montreal with a crease chance. That is a 51 on a crease chance. Goalie 9+ makes the save. Raycroft is a 5. Montreal will score. And the Canadiens will now open up a 4-1 lead. And I suspect, Doug, you are probably pretty happy with that result so far. You're probably happy with this game as a whole, at least in terms of how the teams are, at least in terms of how it's going on the scoreboard. So Montreal at the 15-minute mark of the third period. Let's see who picks up the goal for the Canadiens. 15 is going to be Alex Kovalev. And there will be 2 is 1 assist on the play. Let's see who gets the assist. 99, that'll be Aaron Downey picking up another assist. Four to 1 now in favor of the Canadiens. As we'll get our next sequence going here. That is another 6 minutes off the clock. I wonder how that works now that we're into the 2 minutes left. Would we just? I think we just blow through the end of the game. We wouldn't even go into the 2-minute sequence. And besides, up 3 goals, I don't think there's much the Bruins could really do here to change all of that out. Let me look that up though. Thematically, I feel like you could just blow through it at this point. But I know there is a score of the game was within 2 goals. The normal timing rule stands. Okay. That's what I thought since it was a 3-goal lead. So, there's once again my lousy goal horn, and that's the end of the game. As the Montreal Canadiens will win this debut of Stone Cold Hockey over the Boston Bruins by a score of 4-1, sending the crowd at TD Garden home unhappy tonight, but sending Doug home very happy. And that was the only game of Stone Cold Hockey I had lined up tonight. So I think that's probably a good place to call it a night, in all honesty. I could pull another score sheet if I wanted to, but I don't really much feel like it tonight. I'm just going to take the night off, and I actually have to get tomorrow morning's video of Combat Commander Pacific ready anyway. So this kind of works as a great stopping point. But yeah, I definitely like what I see of Stone Cold Hockey. Sports have been a little bit weird for me. For the most part, I definitely like having the more, what's the word I want? I definitely like having the play-by-play on a lot of these sports games, especially with baseball. It's so easy. The baseball games are already well, maybe not naturally short is not the word I want, but glad to see you enjoyed it, Doug. So where was I going with that thought? Oh yes, talking about the nature of the sports games so far in my collection and my experience. So baseball, it's very easy to get the play-by-play of the game because you have the batter come up to the plate, you roll for that bat, boom, you're done, on to the next batter. Whereas with something like football and hockey, you don't really have that luxury because there's so much more going on the ice or on the field, for that matter, if you're talking about a football game. So you have more of a problem. You have more of a problem with figuring out, okay, which part of the field do I need to focus on here? Do I need to focus on the slot? Do I need to focus on the point? Where do I need to focus in? There's so much more going on. So having more of these highlight games in my collection is actually a very good thing, and I could definitely see Stone Cold Hockey working its way in and being part of a season replay, similar to what I did with Momentum Football last year when I did the 1972 season using Momentum Football. So I'm definitely going to pick up more of Stone Cold Hockey from Stone Mountain Press. Like, I'm rambling a bit, but I'm definitely getting to the point where I really enjoyed this game. And the fact that it only played in about half an hour is making me warm up to it even more. So you'll probably see more of this on the channel, more of Momentum Football. That said, I do like the full play games as well. What I'm going to do with those, though, is we're probably going to see less of those, where we'll see, say, the third period on camera, at least for the bigger games. Strat Hockey plays fast enough that I can get a full game of that in about an hour. So for something like Inside the Crease Hockey, especially during my 2009-10 hockey season replay coming up later this summer, we're going to see Inside the Crease, use third period situations for that. And I'll feel the same way about APA football as well, if that ever hits the channel as being a replay engine. But anyway, rambling, so let's wrap this video up for Stone Cold Hockey. We're going to have yet another debut on the channel tomorrow morning, as we play Combat Commander Pacific by GMT Games. I'm also expecting there to be at least 2 other games on the channel tomorrow, but stay tuned to the channel for those, as I will be holding those close to the vest. As for Monday, we'll have our next episode of Metal Gear Mondays, as we play Metal Gear Solid, the board game, by Simon. We're at the point now where we're trying to make our initial insertion into the main compound of Shadow Moses Island. Saturday next week, Mystical Munchies will continue out of the Star Wars Life Day cookbook as we make the dessert, Clatoine Crepes. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications to get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone.